Hello. It's Will back at it again with another video. How you doing? Great to see you. Come on in. I'm Will. Hello. If you haven't met me before, I am a 30-year-old guy from Telford, Shropshire, England, and I like to kind of reflect on different ideas in the channel, usually kind of abstract. Today I'm going to maybe be a little more concrete. So today a question I kind of want to ask and explore here in the channel is what is going on with the job market? The job market's bizarre and insane, and I guess I talk about this because I am recently unemployed, and I've been going for a lot of interviews. I've been doing a lot of things, making a lot of applications, and a lot of the job application processes suck. The amount of forms I've had to fill out, the same information. I know when I was working as a life coach specifically, full time, I had clients who come to me with frustrations about the job market, finding a job, getting a job. And I feel like I'm usually pretty good at doing job applications. I'm usually pretty good at connecting up the job specification. And even for me, I'm running into a lot of challenging stumbling blocks. It's really frustrating. And maybe it's just my expectations weren't managed appropriately with the current job environment. But what the hell is going on with the job environment? I'm a professional who's worked since they graduated from university. That was 7-8 years ago now. I've always had a job. I've had a job in a variety of industries. I was able to kind of get into marketing back in the day when I worked in retail. I was able to work in, I went from retail to marketing to care to life coaching. Now it just feels like there's so many hoops to jump through, even in the care sector. It's kind of wild how quickly the jobs are going, because in the area I live in, there's a lot of people with physical and mental health disabilities, because I live in a quieter part of the UK, which is a healthy, positive place, I think, probably for people to settle down in that have had health challenges, because it doesn't have the same hustle and bustle as certain cities, right? But even then, positions have been going, I've been turned down for certain jobs. I feel like I usually interview pretty well, but it's kind of well, we had somebody that was maybe fit the brief more, or they'd already kind of picked somebody maybe. And I guess I'm just feeling quite frustrated, given I actually have experience in these industries, right? So for me, I have a bunch of interviews. I have an interview later today. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying. But I can really empathize a lot more with those that get really demoralized and give up, right? Because I've done a bunch of job interviews already. I think this month I've done about 7 or 8, and none of them have turned into a job. And that can be really demoralizing, really demoralizing. And I definitely felt it in the moment, but I guess because of my disposition, or because how I process things, or whatever, I kind of dust myself off and I keep going, which is really challenging sometimes. But there's a lot of rejection in this process, and rejection's really hard. And I guess this is kind of an emotion I want to point out today. I think historically, even for me in my time as a worker, which definitely is not that long relative to most people. I've been in the job market for 8 years at this point, 7-8 years, and probably more 10, because I worked when I was a teenager a bit, and it just feels like it's gotten harder and harder to get a job over time. I don't need to tell you guys this. I'm sure you've seen AI tools baked into everything. It's making it really hard to get a fair shake, get a human interaction with an employer, instead of some kind of AI screening here, an AI interview there. Did an AI interview the other day for a role. That was really weird. Didn't like that. And like, I guess in a way, I can empathize with employers because from what I understand of the current environment that we're all in economically, there's kind of more and more of a scarcity of jobs relative to the amount of unemployed people, and it's hard to sift through all those applications. It's a lot of work, right? But also then I guess I'm thinking of it from the person who's trying to find a job like myself, that like there's all these kind of hoops that we have to jump through that like aren't even like read by a human very often. I've applied for a lot of different roles. I applied to be a postman, didn't get that. I applied to stack shelves in a retail store, even though I have retail experience, didn't get that. It's wild. It's really wild. I'm like trying to get just like a stacking shelves, whatever job. Happy to. I put my availability whenever the hell you want me, all week apart from Thursday, because I go to college on Thursdays. And yeah, nothing. Still a no. I passed the assessment for the postman job, the online assessment you have to do of being a personality match. Still no. It's really weird. It's really bizarre. The environment we find ourselves in increasingly boggles my mind. And I can really empathize, I guess, a lot with the hopelessness that a lot of people maybe are feeling in the job market right now. A lot of people maybe that have had, from what I've seen, gone to university, done computer science degrees, because back when I was younger, it was kind of like the golden ticket in a way to a really well-paying job. That was true in the mid-2010s, and I almost fell into that myself. I almost did a master's degree in computer science at Swansea University. I was accepted for it, but I didn't go because it didn't feel right to me. Something in my gut was like, I don't know about this. Do I want to be a programmer? And I'm not sure if I regret that right now, because I did do a bit of front-end development in my marketing job, and that was fine. It was interesting. But now we're kind of in an environment where like even the qualified are struggling to get jobs. So what the hell is going on with the job market? I don't know, increasing layoffs, which I'm a part of, due to AI consolidation of workforce. Maybe now there's so many people applying for these jobs that they need people to really specifically point at the job specifications, and maybe employers are thinking in increasingly complex ways to get exactly the person they want. And I guess they have more choice, right? Almost akin this to like dating, like Tinder, like dating apps. When you have more and more and more choice, like you're actually overwhelmed by options, so you never really choose because they will have so many choices. So surely eventually we're going to get the unicorn, the perfect person, right? Maybe some of this effect is at play here. Maybe that's part of the challenge that like anyone who's looking for a job is facing right now, right? I went to the job box, which is something that the Telford and Wrekin Council offers to just help people find jobs, and I just listened to this one guy's story. I overheard this guy's story when he was trying to find work, and he's like 29, I'm 30, very similar age, and he's just wanted to get into welding the whole time, right? He's been trying to get an apprenticeship, he's been just trying to get his foot in the door, and like it's been really hard for him, and that sucks, man. Like, I guess my assumption, because I'm like not in those kinds of industries, would be like, surely those practical trades roles would be in a higher demand, or there'd be ample apprenticeships to get your foot in the door at least. But this guy couldn't get in, for whatever reason. I don't know his whole story. I don't know what other challenges he's faced along the way, but I can see how it'd be really disheartening for young people, right? And I've seen a lot of articles about this, the rising unemployment of the youth, thanks to AI automating out a lot of the roles. It sucks, and I guess it makes it hard to be optimistic about the future when you kind of look at this like rising unemployment for the youth of today. Because like yeah, how are people supposed to get into these industries? I guess I feel like if there were better state provisions and there was like a universal basic income where people felt safer to start businesses and innovate in their own ways, and there was less of a pressure to get a job, where I feel like there's a huge societal pressure to get a job, I think it would be less concerning. If you took your time and you were trying to figure something out. But we're in a cost of living crisis. People need money because everything's too expensive. So, like, how the hell are people supposed to do it? Hopefully I'll find something. Hopefully with my many years of experience, I'll get into a similar role that I'm qualified to do. But it's really rough. And at this point, slow money's better than no money. Is kind of where I'm at. Which can be really frustrating, I guess. What a time to be laid off, eh? But I'm still processing. I'm still journaling. I'm still exercising. Still losing weight at a healthy rate. Still taking care of myself and opening the door to the next opportunity. But I'm going to leave it there today. A little bit of a moan about the state of the world. You've been wonderful. I've been Will. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.